Thank you very much for coming. I hope everyone can hear me. We have 22 participants so far, and this is an online press conference. It's a virtual press conference as we launch the Get Safe Online Kinyarwanda website. Get Safe Online, and I am talking on behalf of Get Safe Online, the campaign here in Rwanda, is the campaign that kicked off in July 2020, on the 20th of July this year. And for this last month, it's a campaign that builds awareness on online safety and the risks with online behaviors amongst Rwandan citizens. And this, of course, comes at a time when we're relying more than ever on online technology due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I won't take much time. I just want to welcome everyone. With us, we have people representing institutions from the National Cybersecurity Authority, from Get Safe Online UK, as well as from the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Eve Iradukunda. Also representing Get Safe Online, Head of International Relations, is Jenny Thornton. And then also representing the National Cybersecurity Authority is Ghislaine Kaigi, the Chief Cybersecurity Standards Officer. And I would also just like to highlight that we have with us media. I'm going to just keep on looking at the list as they log on. But I'd like to really please ask the media to please type in their questions in the Q&A box. There's a Q&A box that we have with us, and we would like to read your answers. So please, your questions. So please type in your questions and also indicate the name and the institution you represent, so our panelists on this online press conference can directly answer you. So please utilize the Q&A box. This is a presser to launch, very quickly for those who are joining, the Kinyarwanda website of the Get Safe online website. We are launching the Kinyarwanda version, and I think it's the first of its kind in the countries that Get Safe Online works with to have a comprehensive, fully translated website in a local language. So without further ado, on the agenda, we're going to have remarks from all the panelists, and then we're going to have a Q&A from all the journalists present asking all the participants. And I would like to just give one more minute or two. I can see some journalists are logging in, so just give it a few minutes before we kick off. Thank you. Okay, we're just going to kick off, and we have 25 participants so far. And I can see that there's some journalists who are coming in. And for these journalists, I would like to just reiterate for those that have just come in right now that we have We are here today to launch the Get Safe Online Kinyarwanda website. Get Safe Online is a campaign that has been here in Rwanda for the last 5 months as it works towards creating awareness on online safety for people in Rwanda using online platforms. So without further ado, I would like to invite the PS, Mr. Yves Iradukunda, to just kick off with his opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be joining this conversation around online safety. First of all, I want to recognize all various partners represented, starting with the Cybersecurity Agency and also the Get Safe Online representative. Jenny, thank you for being with us this morning. And also thank you, Ghislaine, for joining us this morning. Also want to recognize various partners that are on this call, representing different institutions, whether in Rwanda, government, as well as private sector and media. Good morning once again, all ladies and gentlemen represented here. Once again, it's a pleasure to be joining this important conversation. I think for us as a ministry in charge of ICT in particular, we've seen the increased need for online protection and online safety. And the usage of online platforms has more than ever increased, particularly in the last several months, where life changed from normal to now most people working remotely, young people using platforms to study, and really every citizen needing to interact with online platforms, whether for business and services, whether for healthcare purposes, getting interacting with government, and I think for us it's been a great thing to observe. As you know, the country of Rwanda, and with the leadership, or our leadership, we have been investing significantly in infrastructure and creating an enabling environment for us to really be able to leverage technology and digitize our services. So, the trend is positive. As much as today's discussion is thinking about safety, but we must celebrate the trend that we have been observing in seeing more people joining online platforms, because this has had a significant impact on our lives in terms of the ease of service, in terms of quality of service delivery, thanks to the various digital platforms that we have mentioned. So, however, again, since the discussion is, focusing on safety, it is important that as people adopt the technology, as more platforms are being built, it is important to also think about, what information do people have to make sure that they are protected while using these online platforms. So with that, I think, the conversation we're going to have this morning, thanks to the partnership with Get Safe Online, we are able to bring to the citizen and to the general public the kind of information that we need. And so this conference comes after several initiatives, several events that have happened, particularly in English, and hopefully throughout the press conference we can also have interaction in Kinyarwanda, because we are launching a website in Kinyarwanda. A lot of these conversations have happened in English. We've had the version of the getsafeonline.org.rw in English. Now we are launching in Kinyarwanda. So the conversation is only continuing. We are broadening that conversation. We're also making sure that all Rwandan citizens can participate in this conversation. So I want to congratulate the team that has been working behind the scene on this, and particularly Diana and your team, and working closely with our office of the ministry, as well as RISA, and now the a national cybersecurity agency to make sure that a lot of the policy work that we have been putting in place, a lot of the guidelines that we have been developing can be accessed by the public. And so thanks for the media that has joined us today. I think, collectively we have the responsibility to inform our citizens as they continue to interact with various platforms. So I look forward to the discussion, and once again, welcome and thank you to all partners and to all media representatives here and other partners in government and public sector. Looking forward to the discussion and to the insights on how we can further this conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, PSE Viradukunda. Those were great and great remarks and insightful remarks on the need of online safety in Rwanda. I'd like to take us now to just hear from Get Safe Online UK, which is the parent company, the parent organization, if I may, of Get Safe Online in different countries around the world. And Jenny Thornton, who's the head of international relations, is going to tell us more about Get Safe Online, the rationale for having Get Safe Online in Rwanda as the first African country where instituting the work it does, as well as the expectations of this campaign and this program, and so far the work Get Safe Online has been doing around the world. Over to you, Jenny. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everybody. I would first like to take this opportunity to thank our incredible partners, the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, RISA, the National Cybersecurity Agency, and also the UK government and their Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, without all of whom this important project would not have been possible. So our great thanks to them, and our great thanks for this opportunity to speak to everyone on the Zoom call this morning. As Yves very rightly highlights, 2020 has been an absolutely unprecedented year for every country, every nation, and every citizen around the world. And one major associated challenge to COVID and the pandemic has actually been the increase in cyber attacks, and no country is immune from this threat. In a report that Interpol released on the 4th of August this year on COVID and associated cybercrime, they found that there was a huge increase in things like phishing emails, malware, malicious domains, and misinformation. And I think this stresses just how important online safety is, particularly at this moment. In fact, it's never been more important than it is now to keep people safe online. And at the heart of people experiencing the internet in a more safe way, we feel are the principles of knowledge and trust. First of all, knowledge. It's really important to empower people with information so that they can be equipped to experience the internet in a safer way, and also to practice their own digital hygiene. And then on the other hand, of trust. Well, we know at Get Safe Online that we go the extra mile to encourage people to trust our online safety advice enough so that they can take it on board and keep themselves safe. And in order to build this trust, we need to make sure our information is presented clearly, but we also need to make sure that information resonates with local populations and that it reaches the widest proportion of people and society as possible, particularly in Rwanda. So it's with this principle or joint principle of knowledge and trust in mind that we are officially launching the Kinyarwanda version of the Get Safe Online Rwanda website today, together with our amazing partners. This website is packed full with a huge array of online safety information. In fact, there are over 200 pages of dedicated web pages filled with information, advice, and guidance. And this isn't aimed at a technical audience. It's aimed at every member of society in Rwanda. You could say it is your one-stop shop for all of your online safety information. And I think this Kinyarwanda website is actually the perfect example of international collaboration as well, and international collaboration at its best. This website has been a long time in the making. It's involved a lot of hard work, and we're so grateful to all of our incredible partners in Rwanda for their involvement and collaboration with us to get this project over the finishing line. So we're absolutely delighted today to celebrate this momentous and quite historic occasion for having a very comprehensive website in Kinyarwanda covering all topics of online safety. Thank you very much, and Murakoze.
Thank you very much, Jenny, and great to see you picking up a bit of the local dialect. I would like to also now just introduce and let us hear from National Cybersecurity Agency, represented here by Ghislaine Kayigi. Ghislaine, over to you.
Thank you, and good morning. We're glad to be part of this discussion. As the National Cybersecurity Authority, we appreciate the efforts of GetSafe Online parent organization to having chosen Rwanda as the first country to launch such a platform. As the National Cybersecurity Authority is still a new agency in the country, we're glad that we have such initiatives being launched, as also our agency is being launched and initiating our first operations. And as a way of introducing what the agency will be doing, our main mission is to build skills and capabilities necessary to protect the Rwandan cyberspace against threats intent on disrupting the national security and economic prosperity. And one of our responsibility is to create among the Rwandan society awareness about security, about cybersecurity. It's the risk that the technologies presents, and the best practices that one can make sure that they implement in order to keep themselves and their information safe online. And we're grateful for such a project of GetSafe Online, since it is in line with that responsibility of the NCSA, and we look forward to work with them to make sure that the professionals in private and public institutions, but also the citizens in general, know what to do and not what to do as they do the transactions online, as they pay for their services, as they use the information that is publicly available online. And so with that, I thank you for the opportunity to participate in this discussion and look forward to more collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ghislaine. I would like to now get some questions from that have been coming in. Again, I would like to please request all the journalists here. I can see we have a couple of media houses here to please fill in your questions using the Q&A box. There's a Q&A box. I think everyone has that option. And if we can just have you please putting in your questions in the Q&A box. Just to reiterate, for those people that have come in, those journalists I can see that have been logging on, this is a press conference, a virtual press conference. As many things are happening this year, as the panelists said, in unprecedented times, a lot of what we're doing is virtual. So in that vein, this is a virtual conference to highlight the GetSafe Online campaign in Rwanda, but also to highlight the launch of a Kinyarwanda website, fully translated Kinyarwanda website that shows and illustrates comprehensively how to adopt safe behaviors online, create awareness of online safety to Rwandan users, and also give practical advice. So I can see we have one question that has come in, and this question is from Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is from the East African, also Rwanda Today, which is a sister publication of the East African. And Elizabeth has two questions to all panelists. And Elizabeth's question is, one, how big are online threats in Rwanda ever since the pandemic struck? Her second question is, I believe the Kinyarwanda online safety version is to make information accessible to non-English speaker, correct? Her question is, why and why now? So those are the two questions. How big are online threats in Rwanda since the pandemic? And Kinyarwanda website, great idea. It's accessible to non-English speakers, but why now? The first questions are from Elizabeth. PS, if you'd like to maybe kick off in answering these questions, followed by Jenny and Ghislaine.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for a good question. I think maybe one would even add to your question, maybe more than how big the online threats in Rwanda are. I don't know if you think in terms of numbers, in terms of the impact of those threats. So I think, there is more to your question, but I think while I don't have necessarily specific numbers in terms of number of cases or impact of the cases, and maybe from a financial impact perspective, what I can say is that, when you look at the data from January up to now, we've had a spike of an increase of cases around June, which was still during the pandemic. So we went, I think the numbers almost doubled in June from March 2020, numbers almost doubled in June. But I think, thanks to various initiatives that have been done, including the Get Safe Online, we are seeing a decrease from June up to now, where in July there was a decrease, and then kind of stayed the same in August. But since September up to now, we are seeing the number going almost similar to what we had in February this year. So I think, that for us it gives hope to say, while there was an increase of people going online, the trend went together with the number of attacks that we were getting. But I think, more awareness is I believe what is triggering the decrease in the number of these attacks. But I think it's not just awareness, it's also the continued efforts from infrastructure perspective, from mitigation perspective. I think Ghislaine may add to this, and various efforts that are being done from cybersecurity resilience to protect our cyberspace. In regards to why now, the version in Kinyarwanda, I think, the partnership with Get Safe Online, represented here by Jenny, started when it's a global initiative. And so we wanted to really join in that momentum. And so we started with the English version, but we took our time to also make sure that the content is translated, the right material is developed to also bring the campaign into the Kinyarwanda, to bring on board, the kind of content that people can relate with, and in ways that that it would make sense. So, it was a matter of getting ready for the Kinyarwanda website. Otherwise, we would have launched together. But we didn't want to wait until we have both versions. So we wanted to go ahead and kickstart that conversation. In between, there have been different discussions, radio shows, and articles that have been published. So it's important that now, with the launch of the Kinyarwanda website, we even do more to make sure that the audience that speaks Kinyarwanda can also leverage this information as we continue the fight. So I don't know if others would want to add to it, but again, in brief, we are seeing a decrease in this case, and I believe it's a combination of awareness and also institutions, including government, whether it's finance institutions and others, telecommunication, continuing to put in place, the sort of mechanisms to prevent against these cyber attacks.
Jenny and Ghislaine, would you like to weigh in on that?
Yes, please. Thank you, Diana. And I think you've put it excellently. I'll just add to what he said by reflecting on the fact that Rwanda is actually a bit of a world first for Get Safe Online, where this is our first non-English language translation of our entire website. And we are so proud that Rwanda is our partner in doing so, and rightly so. Rwanda is constantly at the forefront of digital innovation. So we're really proud to be doing this here today with such a great partner country. I think the Kinyarwanda website, in answer, Elizabeth, to your question about why now, it's actually a reflection of our constant attempts and commitment to digital inclusion. We think everybody should be included in online safety practice and information. We didn't want to exclude anyone in Rwanda who didn't speak English. And we also acknowledge that Kinyarwanda is one of Rwanda's national languages. Therefore, we felt it was really important and right that we offered an additional language version in Kinyarwanda. And just reflecting on that, online safety is important for everyone in Rwanda, from mobile phone internet users in the rural districts through to, say, laptop users in urban areas. Everyone deserves the right to stay safe online, and that's why we're presenting these different language versions today. Thank you.
Ghislaine, do you want to weigh in on that? Because there are other questions coming in as well, but please go ahead.
Thank you. So about the first question of how big are online threats in Rwanda ever since the pandemic spread in. So we don't have the exact numbers as of now, but we have seen an increase during the time when the pandemic started and more people started working from home, and also with the government's initiatives of increasing the internet penetration in the country and the use of smartphones, we saw that there were more risks that the population was facing, and initiatives such as this come in to help and educate the population on the best security measures to follow. And also, I believe that having this version in Kinyarwanda helps to reach more people, to reach more citizens, either in the urban area, but also in the rural area. So that's my step. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ghislaine. We have some questions coming in from, I will read from Abraham. Abraham also has his questions in Kinyarwanda, so you'll bear with me reading them in Kinyarwanda. My Kinyarwanda is not the best, but I'll make an attempt to read Abraham's questions just very quickly. Abraham asks, and I think we've answered this, but I'll just ask for the benefit of his question in case we want to reiterate. I think we answered this in the first questions. He asks, ikibazo cya mbere kuri mini ICT, barabona ubwitabire bw'ibikoreshwa ry'ikoranabuhanga mu Rwanda rihagaze rite? Ikindi ndabaza, ese gushyira Get Safe Online mu Kinyarwanda bije gukemura iki? Ni nyungu ki ku Rwanda? That's his first question. The second question is Nabaza Gahigi. His question is to you, Ghislaine. Ese ko ibyaha bikorerwa ko ikoranabuhanga n'amayeri byiyongera mu bikurikirana mute? Ese bihagaze bite kuri ubu? So those are the two questions to PS and to Ghislaine, to Abraham from Igihe. And then Abraham's last question is And I know, PS, you mentioned that you didn't have the exact details, but he says, give us the exact numbers of how online threats increased or decreased during the pandemic. We'd like to have exact numbers, please. Thank you. I think after this, I will redirect the journalists to more information with a follow-up press release we'll send with these figures. So over to you, PS and Ghislain, regarding the first questions that I just read out in Kinyarwanda from Abraham, who's here representing Igihe. Thank you.
Thank you. Arakoze Abraham ku bibazo yabajije. Icya mbere kiravuga ikoranabuhanga rihagaze gute, uburyo ririmo rireshwa. Ngira ngo icya mbere naheraho, mbere ya pandemic press conference twari kuba turi in person ahantu wenda ntekereza hari kuba hateguwe hotel cyangwa se ikindi cyumba cy'inama cyari kuba cyateguwe, ariko uyu munsi turimo turabikora tunyuze kuri platform ya Zoom. So Abraham, ngira ngo nenda nawe mu kazi kawe ka buri munsi nk'umunyamakuru uko wagakoraga mbere y'uko iyi pandemic iza by'umwihariko, cyangwa se na mbere y'uko ingamba zigiye zitandukanye z'ikoranabuhanga zishyirwaho, ngira ngo ushobora kuba warabonye impinduka mu kazi ka buri munsi, ariko by'umwihariko no mu buzima bw'umunyarwanda bwa buri munsi. Twafata nk'urugero ku bijyanye no kwishyura hakoresheje ikoranabuhanga. Ngira ngo urabyibuka aho pandemic yari igeze hagati cyane, nta muvuma z'abantu zihari, zimwe mu ngamba hari ugukoresha kwishyura hakoresheje ikoranabuhanga, hakurwaho n'ibiciro, donc ibiciro abantu bishyura iyo barimo gukoresha yaba ari mobile money cyangwa se kwishyura bakoresheje amakarita. Ubwo ni ku bijyanye no kwishyura hakoresheje ikoranabuhanga. Wajya mu bijyanye no kwiga, urabizi ko Minisiteri y'Uburezi nk'urugero yashyize imbaraga cyane mu kugira ngo amasomo akomeze hakoresheje ikoranabuhanga. Ikindi kandi wareba no mu buvuzi, hari byinshi byagiye bikorwa ku bijyanye no kurwanya icyorezo cya COVID-19 by'umwihariko, ariko n'izindi ngamba zigiye zitandukanye kugira ngo ikoranabuhanga rikoreshwe. Wagaruka mu mikorere yacu umunsi ku munsi mu bigo bya leta, naho ngira ngo kera umuntu ntiyabashaga kuba yakohereza urwandiko kuri minisiteri atabashe kuruzana ngo barwakire bashyireho kashe, ariko uyu munsi ngira ngo email irakoreshwa cyane, yaba hagati y'ibigo muri guverinoma cyangwa se muri leta, yaba se hagati ya guverinoma n'abakeneye serivisi y'abo bigo cyangwa se abaturarwanda muri rusange. So navuga ko hari byinshi byahindutse mu buryo ikoranabuhanga ririmo rirakora. Twebwe wenda nka mini ICT turabona yuko hari ibyo kwishimira byagezweho, ariko kandi ntabwo turagira neza aho twifuza kugera, kuko nk'uko mubizi mu byo twifuza nuko mu gihe tutararangiza umwaka wa 2024 twifuza ko serivisi zose umuturarwanda akenera yabasha kuzibona online. Ibyo wenda ni ku bijyanye no ku ruhande rwa leta, ariko kandi turifuza ko no mu bikorera ikoranabuhanga rikomeza kutubera ingenzi mu buryo dukora. So hari byinshi turimo turakora, hari ibigo bishya birimo kujyaho bijyanye wenda no gukoresha artificial intelligence nk'urugero na machine learning. Izo ni technology ziri emerging, dushaka uko zirushaho kudufasha mu bijyanye n'ikoranabuhanga. Hari ibigo bijyanye n'ikoranabuhanga ryo mu kirere, Space Agency, n'iki kigo gishya Ghislain ahagarariye uyu munsi muri iki kiganiro, cyber security. Ibyo byose no kugira ngo duhe umwanya uhagije ikoranabuhanga kandi turusheho kuryegereza abaturage muri rusange. So wenda nafashe ku mpande zigiye zitandukanye kugira ngo mvuge ku kibazo cyawe Abraham, ariko ngira ngo nawe ubwawe urabibona mu buzima bwa buri munsi ko uburyo dukoresha ikoranabuhanga burimo kugenda bwiyongera. Turizera yuko kandi birushaho ntibibe gusa kubera iki cyorezo, ahubwo na nyuma yaho tukarushaho kureka ikoranabuhanga rikadufasha mu buzima bwa buri munsi. Ndizera ko ngusubije, ariko ntabwo hari ikindi kibazo wari wabajije Ghislain.
Murakoze. Ku kibazo cya Abraham kivuga uko dukurikirana ibikorwa ibyaha bikorerwa ku ikoranabuhanga. Uh, yeah. Nka NCSA nk'ikigo gishinzwe umutekano w'ikoranabuhanga, dukorana n'abashinzwe gukurikirana ibyaha bikoresheje ikoranabuhanga, harimo polisi, harimo na RIB, tugafatanya gukurikirana abakoze ibyo byaha bikoreshejwe ikoranabuhanga cyangwa byakorewe bikoresheje ikoranabuhanga. Icyo twe dukora ni ukumenya ko icyakorwa cyose kugira ngo ibyo byaha bidakomeza kwiyongera twagikoze, tukarinda amakuru y'abantu n'ay'ibigo. Haboneka ibyo byaha tugakorana n'ababifitiye ububasha n'uburenganzira kugira ngo ababikoze bafatwe kandi bahanwe bikurikije amategeko. Murakoze.
Thank you very much, Ghislaine. I have another question that has come in from Levi Mutanganshuro, who is from the New Times. I'm going to read his question, and he has three questions. The first is, how will this new platform work? 1. 2, what is the current state of cybercrimes in Rwanda in terms of numbers? Let's say since the start of this year in comparison with last year. 3, what are the prevalent forms of cybercrimes in Rwanda? 3 questions. How will the platform work? What is the current state of cybercrimes in Rwanda in terms of numbers compared to last year as well as the start of this year? And then last question, what are the prevalent forms of cybercrimes in Rwanda? Over to you again, the same order, PS, Jenny, and Ghislaine. Or if you want to change it up, please feel free to let me know. Thank you.
So I actually don't have the exact numbers, so I don't think I'll be able to provide that immediately, but we can look for the numbers. I think I tried to give a picture of how the numbers changed throughout this year, where it almost tripled or doubled, or close to tripling within between March and June, but then we're seeing a decrease again. We can follow up in a press release with more details.
Thank you. Hi there. So in answer to the question, how will it work? It's very easy. The Kinyarwanda version of the website is completely accessible through our usual URL or website address for the Get Safe Online Rwanda website. This is in the press release, and at the top right hand corner you should see a button that says Kinyarwanda. Once you click that, the entire website content is then presented in Kinyarwanda, and it's a thorough translation as well. So even things like our jargon of for safety has all been carefully translated too. And just another thing to note on this, the website is mobile friendly. So when you're reading the content, either on a mobile phone or on a desktop or laptop, the information should be presented clearly and simply. And that again is our commitment to accessibility for all internet users. Thank you.
Thank you too. On Levy's question on the current state of cybercrime in Rwanda, in terms of numbers, I've just been shared some few numbers, statistics, where it says that according to the Rwanda Investigation Bureau, they saw that cybercrimes increased by 72% during the COVID-19 lockdown that was imposed countrywide. So that's one of the few statistics that we can get for now that shows the image or the state of cybercrime in the country, and also emphasizes on the importance of such a platform as the Get Safe Online, the Kinyarwanda version. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ghislain. We're coming towards the end of the presser. We have one more question, a very interesting question that's coming in from Daniel Sabiti. So we've had questions from Igihe, we've had questions from the New Times Rwanda, we've had questions from the East African stroke Rwanda Today. We now have a question coming in from Daniel Sabiti from Kigali Today, KT Press. And his question is to GSO, to Get Safe Online. He says that I was a victim of a cyber attack, data breach, when I logged in a webinar meeting organized by Swugo, who were in charge of organizing the 9th Meridian Summit attended by the global leaders. This cost me my Twitter account, and even as a tech elite, I couldn't recover it. The question is, besides prevention, what will you do to help users to recover their personal data and accounts? To Get Safe Online, what are some examples of aspects in detail that will be found on the Kinyarwanda website? So over to you, Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this question. And can I just start with saying how sorry I am to hear about your personal circumstances? This sounds devastating, and I think it is for anyone who is hacked or has their personal details compromised in some way, and I can understand how, well, inconvenient first of all, but distressing this can be, so my sympathies. I think in answer to your question, simply put, the Get Safe Online website and all of our work is aiming to help people through two ways. One is to help with prevention, so giving people the information and advice to practice safe behaviour online, to try and best secure their online behaviours and practices to minimise the likelihood of being hacked or being a victim of a cyber attack. But there's also the second track, which may be most applicable to yourself, which is recovery and response once someone has been a victim of a cybercrime. The information on our website allows and assists people to take steps to try and secure accounts that have been compromised in the future, and how to go about recovering from such scenarios. So do take a look at the website. You'll see there is a huge range of topics covered, and it does cover things like video calls as well, also working from home, which this may have been applicable to. So do feel free to look at the website and also compare the English and Kinyarwanda, and you'll see that our commitment to appealing to every internet user, not just the techies and the cyber savvy people out there, should come through that information in the way we've presented the Kinyarwanda and English. Thank you.
I don't know if you want to answer any questions from what Daniel Sabiti said, PS or Ghislain, before I ask the next question. Okay, so we have another question still from the New Times from Lavi, who just wants an overall description of what are the most prevalent crimes, cyber crimes in Rwanda. I'll repeat that. Lavi from the New Times wanted to know what are some of the most prevalent crimes in Rwanda in terms of cyber crimes in Rwanda.
Ghislain, you wanted to take that?
Thank you. So some of the prevalent cybercrime that we have in Rwanda, we don't have the exact numbers, but some of the ones that we've seen of an increase. So we have the ones that affect the mobile money transactions. We have those that are related to phishing, where they use emails to get information from people who don't know how to detect that. We also have crimes that affect that are done through digital payments platform. We also have the normal viruses or ransomware that may attack informations, but the NTSA and other companies are doing everything possible to make sure that cybercrime rate keeps reducing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ghislaine. I think I can safely say that this online press conference is complete. We don't have any more questions. I'd like to thank the media houses that have participated, specifically EGH, New Times, Rwanda Today, vis-a-vis the East African, as well as Kigali, KT Press. We also had other media in the house, but I think the questions were answered or asked by the colleagues. We also had Rwanda Broadcasting Agency in the house, amongst other media houses. I'd just like to reiterate what the PS said. We are definitely going to send a press release, a follow-up press release document that shares some of the statistics in terms of the numbers, in terms of the prevalence of cybercrimes in Rwanda, and so forth and so on. We will definitely be sharing this to the media houses. We first shared the initial invitation press release to this online press conference. I would just like to hand over to the PS to just quickly give some closing remarks on the importance of online awareness, online safety in Rwanda, also closing remarks to Jenny and closing remarks to Ghislaine. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana, and thank you to all participants in today's conference. We are glad that you're joining this conversation and particularly expanding it to the Kinyarwanda audience. We've been looking forward to making sure that everyone is really included and everyone has this kind of information as they continue to use technology and online platforms. So thank you for all the efforts from various partners that have been working hard on bringing this to reality, particularly the partnership with Get Safe Online UK. Thank you, Jenny, and the entire team at Get Safe Online for your partnership throughout the journey. Thanks to Diana and your team for driving communication and having gathered the audience today as we share the different information. And again, thanks to all the partners here represented. We look forward to a community where awareness precedes choice in terms of what kind of content they put online, how they interact with the platforms. Awareness is very key. And so I will encourage everyone here present, particularly media, to continue to join these efforts by government and by various partners to spread the word, and also to take every possible opportunity to educate the general public and the Rwandans that are really being onboarded to technology. Some of them, owning, digital devices for the first time. So, efforts to educate, efforts to create awareness are going to continue to be very important. And we definitely look forward to continue the partnership with you all in that regard. And at the same time, our commitment as the ICT sector, and I know Ghislaine can also echo this, and we can assure you that we continue to use all possible means for prevention and setting the kind of infrastructure and teams and skills that will ensure that there is a safety in the cyberspace. So it's an ongoing effort, but again, our commitment is to ensure that everyone is safe. But for now, awareness and education is going to be very key. So thank you all for committing to be a part of the journey, and I wish you a great day. Thank you once again for having joined this conversation.
Well, Thank you very much for this opportunity to say a few closing words. Again, I would like to give our huge gratitude to all of our partners in Rwanda, the Ministry of ICT and Innovation. Yves, thank you so much. Riza, the National Cybersecurity Agency. Ghislaine, thank you again for your input here. The UK government and their Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and also Blue Oceans. Diana, you and your team have been incredible. I also want to give a lot of credit to our translators who have worked diligently behind the scenes to make this incredible website possible. And all of my colleagues at Get Safe Online, they are wonderful individuals. This has been a real team effort, and as I said before, the most perfect example of international collaboration, all working towards a very important matter, which is online safety. So with that, I'd like to end with Murakoze, and stay safe, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the discussions we've had. I would like to thank the Get Safe Online team represented by Jenny, and also the Rwandan team represented by Diana, and also the leadership from the Ministry of ICT and Innovation represented by Permanent Secretary Yves. And with the NCSA that I represent, we commit to continue the discussion, continue the partnership to ensure that people are safe online and that their information is also safe, and that we'll continue to see the rate of cybercrime reduce, and also people using the technologies that are in place in an efficient way. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all our esteemed panelists, to the PS from the Ministry of ICT, to Jenny from Get Safe Online UK, to Ghislaine representing National Cybersecurity Authority. Thank you very much for your very informative and encouraging remarks in terms of the importance of online safety, as well as the importance of making it the information accessible as much as possible to non-English speaking users via the launch of the Kinyarwanda website version of Get Safe Online. This campaign is ongoing. It's been happening since July, the last 5 months, and it's going to be also ongoing in the next couple of months, also in 2021. And it's really about creating awareness on the importance of online safety and pointing out risks and giving advice to people. To the journalists, I hope all your questions have been answered. Please feel free to follow up with Blue Oceans, with myself or with my team. We will be able to reach out to you regarding any clarifications you may want. So if you want follow-up interviews with the panelists we have here, Jenny, Ghislaine, or the PS, please feel free to let me know by reaching out to us. I would like to thank everyone for the successful online press conference for the launch of the Get Safe Online Kinyarwanda website version. This event has been live streamed on the Get Safe Online different social media platforms. And again, I look forward to hearing more follow-up questions from journalists in case they're there. And without further ado, we've been here for just slightly over an hour. I would like to thank everyone once again and officially close this virtual press conference. Thank you. You can all log off now. Have a great day. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye.